Julia Spencer is a real estate investor with over 25 years' experience who owns multiple investment properties. She's a single mother of two who moved to the U.S. in 1993 with only $20 in her pocket. She currently holds an MBA. Julia Spencer is neither a realtor nor an attorney, and the contents of this recording are only her opinions. Get her free guide to investing at juliamspencer.com. I'm your host, Dr. Steve G. Jones, multimillionaire and hypnotherapist. My website is stevegjones.com. Module 5, Tax Lien Foreclosures, Part A. So one of the most interesting things that I have heard of in real estate is tax lien foreclosures. I mean, I've heard stories of people paying a few $1,000s, and they end up owning a property that's worth close to $100,000. And I mean, I've just heard stories that seem to me amazing. You just basically go down to a place in your hometown, wherever you live, and you stand there with a bunch of other people and you bid on these properties and you get them for just pennies on the dollar, and they end up being worth a lot of money. So we're talking about many, many, many times return for your initial investment, pretty much in the matter of just the couple hours that it would take you to do that. Julia, is this true, and can you elaborate on tax lien foreclosures?
Absolutely. And I want to say that, yeah, it's true. It's kind of hard to believe, and it honestly took me many, many years to believe it enough to actually try it. And I've been investing in tax lien foreclosures ever since. Tax lien foreclosures is very, very interesting and very exciting area to get into if you're investing in real estate, because it's relatively risk-free in terms of the investment that you're putting forth up front, and potentially could be having a very high return on the properties that you buy. So how do tax lien foreclosures work? Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about my home state of Georgia, and that's where I've done most of my tax lien foreclosure investing. Every state has their own little procedures that are a little bit different, and I have information on all the states, but Georgia is the one that I'm most familiar with, so that's the one that I'll be using as an example. But basically, what a tax lien foreclosure is every piece of real estate in the United States, or actually any asset in the United States, is assessed a certain value, and you have to pay taxes on it. That would be your cars, your boats, your RVs. It also includes your real estate. So you have to pay taxes on your real estate every year. If you have a mortgage, which most people have on the property where they live, or even their real estate properties, the money is actually the money that goes towards paying for taxes and for insurance comes from your escrow account. That's an account that you pay. Part of your monthly payment goes into your escrow account, and the mortgage company pays your taxes and your insurance for you, instead of you actually going to the city or to the county courthouses to pay it. And the reason for that, there's a really big reason for that. There is a special hierarchy of which liens against the house are most important. And the one lien against the piece of real estate property that is the most important, and that's the most the one in the very first position, is the tax lien, and that would be city or county. They're in the same position, but they're the most important lien against a piece of real estate. The second in line is usually your actual mortgage. So the reason that the mortgage companies make sure that they have special people and accountants and bookkeepers that collect money from you throughout the year so they can pay your taxes for you, they do this because if they're not in the first position. In other words, if there is a lien against the unpaid taxes, they're bound to possibly use the mortgage that's against this property, because once a property is sold for its tax lien, any second line liens go away, and they may lose their money on this property. It's kind of difficult to understand at first, but it actually makes sense. So in reality, the way that works is, for example, and this has happened to me before, there was a property that I wanted to buy, and it had a mortgage on it, and for some reason or another, the mortgage company did not pay the taxes on this property. So the county sent everybody a notice, they waited their due time, and they advertised it in the paper, and it came up for sale. So the taxes that were owed on this property, which is a $100,000 property, the back taxes were $1,500 for 2 years. And the county basically said, hey, we have unpaid taxes, we got to pay for schools, for roads, we're auctioning off this property for the unpaid taxes. The beginning bid was $1,500. Now, mind you, this is a $100,000 property in a very nice area. The owners were even still living in it. They had no clue. And so basically, I went to the courthouse and I bid on it, and I had nobody bid against me. So for $1,500, I purchased a tax lien against this $100,000 property. Now, there's a couple of issues with this kind of lien. I can't just go ahead and say to the owners, hey, it's my property now, get out of my property, I'm going to use it now. It doesn't quite work that way. It takes a little bit, and you have to go through certain steps. But essentially, I now own the foremost, topmost, most senior lien against this property. Now, if I were to keep this property and go through the legal process and make this property completely mine, I own this property without a mortgage. The mortgage is not against my name, it's against the original owners that purchased the property.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.